Hello everyone. This is part one video on the topic environmental issues. Now, environmental issues as such, it's a pretty straightforward topic in terms of NEET, where we do get in the recent years two or three questions from this chapter, and mostly they'll be statement-based questions or fact-based questions. Now, before we get into the discussion of what is this environmental issues, just wanted to look at what are some of the changes that are happening because of the lockdown, the positive effects, so to say, of the COVID-19 lockdown. So, if you happen to see the India Gate before the lockdown, there used to be a complete smog where the visibility will be very less. So, the contaminant particulate in the air, it will form smoke combined with the fog, it will give us the smog, and that reduces the visibility. So we can see clearly on the left hand side we have what it used to be, and the right hand side we have what it is currently. So the pollutants that are being released over a period of time, they have been causing in a lot of metro cities, including Bombay, Delhi, the issue of smog. This is a very dangerous issue which causes severe respiratory problems to people. And yeah, so we'll have to find out methods to reduce it. So we'll talk about all these things as we go into the discussion in this chapter. Even you might have noticed that there are reports about the river Ganga getting cleaned by itself. I mean, so in India, there is a separate ministry that is being set up called as, the Ganga Restoration Ministry or something. But probably not much has happened over the last 5 years ever since the ministry is set up. But in the last 20 odd days, we have seen that the dissolved oxygen content in the Ganga water has increased. But of course, the industrial sludge or industrial waste that are released, that are usually released into Ganga, are still happening. But overall, there are reports that the quality of water in Ganga has actually improved. Same way, there are reports about the ozone layer healing itself, where in places where there is a depletion of ozone layer, it is observed that there has been uh, a restoration of it. But this is not just a sudden phenomena because of the 20-30 day lockdown across many countries in the world, but it is a phenomena that has been happening over a period of time. But surely it got noticed during this time because of whatever the positive effects on environment because of the less pollution that is caused. Even we see that across India there has been a drop of nearly 25% consumption in the electricity. So this would result, because most of the electricity in India would come from either the thermal power plants or the hydro power plants. So this reduction in the consumption of electricity is essentially something that will possibly stop certain environmental pollution that could be happening otherwise. So these are some of the things that we are observing at least in the recent days, and looking at what is basically a pollution. So what do we call as in pollution? So pollution is defined as any unwanted or undesirable change in the physical, chemical or biological characteristics of air, land, water and soil. And the idea of pollution, so if we have air of particular quality, if there is an undesirable change, like say for example we are getting excess CO2 or excess carbon monoxide, so that is an undesirable change. We talk about land. So if there is an landfill that is formed with some pollutants, so that is an undesirable change. And now we are seeing that the water quality is going bad, like we have some contaminants in the water, like arsenic compounds or any unwanted compounds in water, that is pollution. And soil, if the soil quality is degrading because of some substances or compounds, that is what we will be calling as the soil pollution. And the pollution, basically it will be providing or it will be producing harmful conditions in the environment. So the basic definition of what we call as an pollution is it is the unwanted or undesirable change in the physical, chemical or biological characteristics of air, land, water or soil, and that will be leading to harmful conditions in the environment. Now pollution is caused by substances which we will be calling as pollutants. So what are these pollutants? Essentially we can call them as agents that bring about such undesirable change. So whatever the undesirable change we are calling as pollution, the agents that bring about this, like what we're discussing, the CO2 which is causing the air pollution, or some landfills with an say for example non biodegradable substances that is causing the land pollution, and some unwanted industrial waste etc that is getting into water, particulate matter that is getting into water. So all these will be called as pollutants. Now if you look at the pollution as such, we'll broadly talk about pollution in the air and pollution in water, soil pollution, noise pollution. The high decibel sounds that we keep hearing, they would be causing noise pollution. And we'll also talk about thermal pollution, the rise in temperature, greenhouse effect, which could be causing melting of the polar ice etc. And radioactive pollution, this is caused because of the emission of radioactive materials into the atmosphere. So these are the broad types of pollution that we'll be looking at. And the pollutants, we will be classifying them on different basis. Like we can classify the pollutants based on the form in which they are released. Like we have primary pollutants and secondary pollutants. We'll discuss about them in a little while, but we can classify the pollutants based on the form in which they are released. And we can classify the pollutants based upon the degradation. Like some of them will be biodegradable and some will be non-biodegradable. And we can classify them based on the existence in nature. So based upon the existence in nature, we'll divide them as quantitative and qualitative. So we'll see what each of these classifications is, but we will be able to classify the pollutants based upon either the form in which they are released, or based upon whether they are degradable or non-biodegradable, and based upon the existence in nature. So let us look at what are these primary pollutants. Primary pollutants are essentially substances that are emitted directly from an identifiable source. Like say for example, if we are burning coal, then burning coal will be able to produce sulfur dioxide. From the vehicular exhaust, oxides of nitrogen will be produced. So all these will be the primary pollutants where we can clearly identify what is the source. Whereas the secondary pollutants, we will not be able to identify the source. So the substances that are derived from the primary pollutants, and in most of the cases we will not be able to directly identify also what is the source. So substances, some cases we might be able to identify. So substances that are derived from the primary pollutants by chemical reactions. Like if you look at PAN, so PAN is the abbreviation for peroxyacyl nitrates. So these are present in photochemical smog, and they are very common example for the secondary pollutants. Even the acids present in the acid rain, because if you look at the burning of coal, it will produce SO2, and near the vehicular exhaust we will be able to produce oxides of nitrogen. But when they are dissolved in the rainwater, they will be able to convert into either the sulfuric acid or oxides, the acids of sulfur acids, or the acids of nitrogen. So these acids we will be considering them as the secondary pollutants because they are basically derived from the primary pollutants. And biodegradable pollutants, especially if you look at the kitchen waste and mostly the organic matter, this will be biodegradable because if you let it there for a while, then the microorganisms and microbes, they will be able to decompose that particular pollutant. So such pollutants we will call them as biodegradable pollutants. The other category is non-biodegradable pollutants. Now, non-biodegradable pollutants like plastics and some polymers, they cannot be decomposed by the microorganisms, which means they are going to stay like that for quite a lot of time in our surroundings. Like if you throw a plastic bag just into the land next to us, then we will see that for quite a lot of time it is going to be staying there as it is, because it is not going to be decomposed by the microorganisms. Whereas if we throw some food substance, we will see that over a period of time it will be decomposed by the microorganisms in the soil. So this is the difference between the biodegradable and non-biodegradable pollutants. Then we have the next classification, which is quantitative and qualitative. So quantitative pollutants are substances that are already present in nature and are also added in large amount by human activity. Like say for example, we'll talk about carbon dioxide as a major pollutant in the air. Carbon dioxide is already present in the atmosphere, and because of human activity, like burning of fossil fuels, etc., we are adding a lot of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere further. So this is what we can consider as an example of the quantitative pollutant. Now, what are qualitative pollutants? Qualitative pollutants are substances that are not present in nature but added by human activity. Like for example, we have herbicides, pesticides. They are usually the substances which are not present in the nature. They are not naturally available substances, but they are made by the human activity. So we will be to control the pests, we'll use pesticides, but the pesticides since most of them are non-biodegradable, they will carry through the food chain, and that is how they are going to be staying in the ecosystem. So the qualitative pollutants are those which are not naturally available. So this is the classification of quantitative and qualitative pollutants. So this is about the introduction to environmental issues. In the next video, we'll look at water pollution.